Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the real reasons why everyone is moving to Mexico. Reason number one, a lot of people are looking to obtain real wealth. Wealth can be measured in many ways. And one of the ways that you can measure it in is quality of life. It's not just how much money you have and how much access you have to resources and to things, but the quality of your life. Are you living a quality life? Are you living a good life? Are you happy with the way that life is going? Are you rich in life, as opposed to just rich in money or resources? And so, a lot of people are actually looking for that in today's day and age. And, with all the insanity that's going on in the world, a lot of people are just looking for that. A lot of people are just looking for a way in which they can, just live their lives. And Mexico every single day is a better and better option for those individuals out there that basically just want to live their life. In fact, moving on to the next reason, which is freedom. A lot of people are looking for freedom, and that freedom can be, again, described in many shapes and forms, many ways. And some people are just literally looking for that. And this is, Mexico's an amazing country in which it provides so much freedom. Now let's break that down. For some people right now that are looking at this video, that are watching this video, you guys are in parts of the world in which you guys are going through maybe war, political strife, a lot of economic uncertainty, and I can go on and on. And it really doesn't matter what country you're in. It seems like most countries these days are going through some sort of turmoil, and most people are looking for not just a way out, but they're looking for a way in which they can, live their lives, as best as possible with, all the things that are going on in the world. And so for a lot of people out there that have done their research, and Mexico seems like an awesome and amazing option simply because, the fact that, Mexico seems to be pretty neutral to a lot of the things that are going on in the world at the moment. And it allows people to, just come out here and escape from their situation. And remember, there's a lot of things going on in basically every corner of the world. And a lot of people are coming to Mexico from all those corners of the world. It's not just the USA or Canada, but again, all over the world at the moment. And everyone is dealing with some sort of situation. A lot of people are just looking for a fresh, brand new beginning, something that they can get out here. Because again, wherever they're coming from, it seems like it's a dead end and they don't have much of a future wherever they're at. And so coming to Mexico and starting brand new, as daunting and difficult as that might sound and be, is still a better option than it is to stay where you're at. Because again, it is so unstable where you're at. For most people, especially if you're watching this video, that Mexico looks like a better and better option each and every day. In fact, a lot of people are deterred or don't come to Mexico simply because of the safety issue. A lot of people think, they are under the impression, that Mexico is a very dangerous place. But again, the way things are going in the world these days, Mexico seems, to be getting safer and safer. Now, I'm not saying that Mexico is 100% safe. We know that Mexico has its share of problems, and in some areas they can get very violent, and there are certain situations that are happening in this country that we cannot look a blind eye to. And yes, in certain areas, in certain situations, things can get dangerous. But as things get even more dangerous, wherever you're from, again, it seems like Mexico seems a lot safer than where you're at the moment. And it's kind of crazy because I'm sure that you are sitting right now watching this video, right? And you're thinking to yourself, you never thought that where you are right now would be more dangerous and, a lot more difficult to live in than Mexico. And you yourself are thinking, wow, I never thought I would end up looking into moving to Mexico. And this is one of the reasons. It's the reason of safety, believe it or not, because yes, there are tons of places on Earth that are a lot safer than Mexico, and those places, you're probably not looking at this video. It's not people that are interested in coming to Mexico, but unfortunately, we know that most places around the world these days are not places that you want to live, start a business, raise your family, your children, or anything like that. And so Mexico looks like a better and better option each and every day. And so, I know we're skipping all over the place with the numbers. And And so we're just not going to go with numbers anymore. I'm just going to keep giving you guys reasons as we talk, and you guys enjoy the bike ride I'm taking through the neighborhood of El Parque, and I'm going to be taking you to El Parque. So this neighborhood is called the Park. All right, Park neighborhood, and we're going to be driving and taking a bike ride through a park. If you haven't already seen it, if you haven't, you have something to look forward to as you watch this video. But as I was saying, the reason number one is, wealth, which is quality of life, not just wealth when it comes to monetary. Again, out here in Mexico, your dollar, your euro, your currency is going to go a lot further for the most part than it is where you are at the moment. And even with all the political strife, all the economic strife, all the currency situations that are going on around the world, if you come to Mexico and you come with the idea that you're going to start over, a new beginning, probably start a business, start earning in pesos, be a part of the Mexican economy, then you're going to be totally fine. And it's, again, very prudent of you to start looking into doing this now instead of later, where it's just going to get more and more difficult, and you're going to have less access to all this, because as everything just deteriorates all around you and around the world, it's just going to get more and more difficult to do these things. And the sooner you're able to come out here and set up these roots and set up start planting the seeds and start watering your plants and all that stuff, the sooner you start doing that, the sooner you're going to have fruits to your labor. You're going to have a lot more to look forward to the sooner you're able to get out here and make you finally make the decision to do it. I know there's a lot of reasons why many of you guys have waited or are waiting to come out here, but at the end of the day, if you've already made the decision that you're going to want to come out to Mexico, you better start again, don't be resting on your laurels, because as each day passes, the value of your currency compared to the peso is probably going to get weaker, meaning that your money is going to buy less. And remember, it's not like you're going to be able to come to Mexico and just get a regular job like you would do back home and start making a living from that. You need to plan ahead. This is why not only you watching these videos, but you are, again, going deeper in depth. All right, and going deeper down the rabbit hole of what it is to live in Mexico in order for you to be prepared to come out here and succeed. Because again, I know a lot of people that are watching this video at the moment are probably Americans, Canadians, and some Europeans, but you got to remember there's immigrants coming from all over the world right now, and those are also going to be your competition. You are now the foreigner. You are now the immigrant in this country. And sure, it's nice to, be called an expat and stuff like that. But the reality is that we are foreigners and we are immigrants in this country. And if we're coming out here with nothing, we got to start working in order to get something, because Mexico is not going to give you anything. All right. They're going to give you the opportunity to grow, to build, to, again, become the best that you can be. But you got to take it upon yourself to do it. And so again, going back to reason number one as to why people are coming out here, it's that wealth. The fact that out here, you do have a wealth of opportunity, a wealth of resources, again, just wealth when it comes to so many things. And you will be able to come out here, and if you put a lot of effort into it and you put a lot of work into it, you'll be able to really, really succeed out here. And that's why a lot of people are coming out here, because it doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, you're seeing that your options and your situation is just getting more and more limited as each day passes, and you're looking for a way out. You're looking for a way that not just out, but you're also looking for a way to succeed and survive and build and grow wherever you land. I mean, that's the idea. But again, even if that isn't the idea, even if all you are looking for is not just a way out, a fresh start, a new beginning, for some people, they want to be a major success, and here they can do it. They have, a lot more available to them for them to do these things. But for some people, they're just looking for a simpler way of life. In fact, I think for a lot of people, they're looking for a simpler way of life. And with the simpler way of life, it allows you to do more. So if in case that's what you want to do, or do less. You follow me? So again, living in Mexico, if you play your cards right and you set yourself up right, you can live like a lot of Mexicans do, where you're just working enough for the day. enough for the week, enough to get you by, and that's it. And not because that's all you have. No, it's just because, again, it's all about, a simpler way of life. Why go out there and fish all day long to just sell those fish, to make money, to buy stuff, so that maybe one day you'll be able to enjoy it, when you can simply go out there and fish for a short amount of time, enough to get you a few bucks, enough to feed your family, and now you have the rest of your day to enjoy life. So again, depending on who you are and what part of life you're in right now, depending on how old you are and all these other factors, is going to depend on how you're going to describe or determine what the simple life is, what a simpler life is to you. But again, for most people that are coming, especially from the USA, just being able to not have to keep up with the Joneses anymore, and being able to live humbly, live in a society that is a lot more slow and steady and relaxed and chill. All those things, again, are worth so much money. It's wealth, wealth that you're not going to be able to get in the USA, because of everything just the way it is. It's a go, fast-paced life, something that, again, you got to be constantly, churning that motor without stopping, revving it, all the way, to the max constantly in order to just keep up. We're out here, you don't got to do that at all. You can basically keep up by popping it in neutral and pushing the car and just letting inertia take you, let alone if you put some gas. Imagine if you actually pop it into first, second, third gear. Okay, so that's the thing, the simpler way of life out here, adds so many dimensions to your own life. And so even if you are a very dedicated and a hardworking individual, and you want to, maximize, as much as you can to making money, it's still, it's still, what is it, like a cultural thing where you still got to take time to enjoy life. And just being out here and being in an environment in which so many individuals feel the same way, it is very, very difficult to not join in the fun. Meaning, it's very difficult for you not to, go out with your girlfriend or boyfriend to the park, to an event, to, the family's house, to do, all of the things that all the typical Mexicans do out here. Remember, the Mexicans are the hardest working people, but yet you see them have so much free time and have so much time dedicated to family, fun, and just, rest and relaxation and being able to take care of themselves. And so, why is it that Mexico can keep such a healthy work-life balance, and yet people in the USA and other parts of the world cannot? So, a lot of people, they notice that, they see that, they're learning about that, and they want that. They want to come out to Mexico and work hard, work just as hard as they were working in the USA or wherever they're from, but now really being able to enjoy the fruits of those labors and not just be laboring away for no fruit. All right? Maybe some, some Fruit Loops. Anyways, whatever. Okay, so that's a real reason. Let's not just play it down, but just the fact that it's a simpler way of life, and you don't have to be keeping up with the Joneses. You can live in a house that is just a regular house. That, to some people in the USA, it might look like a poor person's house, but out here, you don't have to you don't have to be, you're not required to go through all of these, laws and rules and regulations in order to just have a water heater in your house, or in order to install, some, a new kitchen faucet or a wall or whatever it is you're going to do out here. You can do whatever you want. That's why you see all kinds of homes, some homes that look like, palaces, and they've, built with marble, and they're the most amazing things on earth. And then other people that just live very humbly, like, me and my wife, we live very humbly because, again, it allows us to live a better life. It allows us to have so much better quality of life, where I am not, wasting, money and time and effort on making sure that, not only do I have the best looking water heater, but I got all the nice piping and the this and the that, and it looks so nice and beautiful and perfection and insulated and this and that. No, I just need some hot water. I can just install a hot water heater, stick 2 pipes in there, and we're done. All right, because if that's all my budget can afford, well, then that's all we're going to get. And we're all going to be very happy because you know what? There's some people that don't even have a water heater. And I can go on and on. So here in Mexico, you have, the option. You have this, what is it like? You don't have to live like everyone else. You can live as humbly as you want or as not humble as you want. It's all up to you. But at the end of the day, it's that simpler way of life that a lot of people are attracted to, where it doesn't matter. Everyone in the neighborhood could have a completely different income level, but you're all basically the same. And that's really what it all boils down to at the end of the day, isn't it? So yeah, that is a big reason. It's a big thing out here. And, I think not only why a lot of people want to move out here, but once they come out here, they love it out here so much. It's that whole idea. Because, moving on to the next reason, by the way, there's no numbers. Maybe somebody down in the comment section, below can help number all of these. But the next one would be actual freedom. Again, we've talked about this multiple times, and the freedom that you get from living in a place in which, the police are not going to come for every single phone call, for every single disturbance, for every single anything. The freedom that comes from not having so many rules and regulations and, again, just living in a place where things are just difficult simply because it feels like you're walking on eggshells all the time. It feels like you're walking, on glass all the time, where it's not like that in Mexico at all. You know what I mean? It's, in Mexico, everything is just very loosey-goosey. So, simply put, meaning that if a police officer sees you, committing some sort of infraction, let's say you're driving your car or you're doing anything, and you have, you do something where, you might be causing an infraction, meaning a ticket. You might be getting a ticket for doing X, Y, Z. A lot of times, the police officer, they're just not going to do that. They'll probably just give you a look and they'll be like, hey, don't, I saw you, you didn't hit the stop sign all the way. Or, hey, I saw, you're on the line when you shouldn't be there. Whatever it is, most police officers or most authority, they're just chill and nonchalant. They're just like, hey, they just give you a warning and that's it. They're not going to go out of their way to make your life miserable for no reason. Now, again, it's not to say it doesn't happen. We've talked about this before in other episodes and other videos where, there are corrupt cops out here. But again, even when you have a corrupt cop out here, they're really just shaking you down for a few pesos. That's it. They're not shaking you down to put you in the system, to make you a number, to make your life a living hell. And, again, literally make you indebted to the state for God knows how long over some dumb civil infraction or some dumb, traffic violation. So nothing like that's ever going to happen here. Again, you have noisy neighbors. You got to deal with those noisy neighbors. You're not going to call no police officer to tell them, hey, the neighbors are loud. Hey, it's 4 or 5 in the morning and they haven't stopped partying. No, they're not. In fact, you're going to have to take matters into your own hands, which is, buy some earplugs. Bruh. Okay? That's it. Deal with it for one night. Okay? Now, if it's every night, then we got a problem. But if it's one night, it's not a problem. Because you know what? When it's for your turn to have a party, you can have a party, no problem. And be as loud as you want. Wake up the whole neighborhood. Go as long, 7, 8 in the morning. Who cares? Because guess what? At some point, someone's going to want to throw a party, and they're going to be going through the same thing, and I can go on and on. Now, is every neighbor throwing a party every single weekend, and you're not going to be able to sleep? No, of course not. But it happens, and you're going to have to deal with it. And again, if you cannot sleep because it's too loud, look, I'll tell you a story of what happened to a neighbor out here. It was actually pretty funny, but it is what it is. There was, one of the neighbors, like a block down, again, a block away, okay? And they were having a party, and it was so loud, we could hear it over here. But again, we got the fans on, got the air conditioning on, we're nice and snug in bed. You can't really hear it. But hey, one of the neighbors heard it, okay? There's one neighbor that, he thinks he's all tough, all right? Well, anyways, he went over there to tell them that they have to turn it down, and then they have to turn it, what is it? Or he's going to take matters into his own hands. Well, guess what? The people at the party, again, it was like 3 in the morning. They were all drunk. Now you're coming to their house demanding to turn it down in a very aggressive and whatever manner. Yeah, well, anyways, long story short, the people from the party beat his butt. Okay, they beat him up. They beat him up. And there's nothing he could do. There's nothing the cops can do. There's nothing anything they can do. Again, if the cops show up, the cop is going to be like, well, why did you come to this guy's house and threaten the guy? Of course, he has every right. He has every right to beat your butt. You came to his home to threaten him. Oh, he has loud music? That's not against the law. And so that's how it works out here. So again, even if you're going to go, and by the way, the guy was Mexican. It wasn't an expat or foreigner. No, it was another Mexican crime. Okay? Now, yes, granted, this Mexican is not from here. He's from Mexico City and he's out here, whatever. But it doesn't matter. It does not matter. It happens. Hey, sometimes, the guy is like a Rambo. He'll go over there and he'll slap a few people, all right? And, I'm trying to, be YouTube friendly with the words I'm saying here. Anyways, slap a few, but beep, beep. And then long story short, it's all taken care of. And, hey, the music is turned down. But you better be prepared to go out there and be a Chuck Norris. Otherwise, they're going to, again, what happened? In fact, how did we know? Is because, where was this person? We haven't seen him in like a month. And it's because, they beat him very severely for trying to be cute. Now, again, it's not for everybody. Some people, hear this story and they are in horror. But to me, it's like, I prefer that than having, the state police come over here and, again, do what they do. Again, some people prefer that. Okay, and so on and so forth. Like for example, I got a friend of mine in the U.S. that he does rental apartments, and he was telling me the other day that one of the neighbors was complaining that one of the other neighbors was smoking some herbs, and oh my God, and so he's just ignored it because what can he do? And sure enough, he was showing me all the messages and like, I called the police and the police whatever, and then the other person's like, hey, did you know about this? Why did the police show up to my house? And by the way, everything's legal in this particular state. But it's just, how things are dealt with over there as to how they're dealt with over here. And to me, it's like, oh, God, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like, this is like a million times better over here. It's a lot more peace of mind. And, that whole way of life is not for me. And for some people it is, and I think people that are still watching this video at this point right here, you're also, that life is not for you, and you are looking forward to, being able to live in a little bit more of anarchy, in which, you and your neighbors are responsible for each other, and that's it, you know what I mean? And that's really, it works very well as well. I know other times where, we've had emergencies, or other neighbors have had emergencies or medical emergencies or whatever, and the community gathers, everybody, helps, whatever it is. And so to me, that's another reason why a lot of people, want to move out here, because they don't have anything like that. They don't have anything like any kind of community where they're from. A lot of places in the world these days, that you're looking at, you're watching this video from, you don't even have that, meaning that you have a bunch of neighbors around you and you don't know any of your neighbors. You don't know any of their names. You never communicate. Even if you do communicate, they're probably going to call the police on you for communicating with them. And that could go on. And so you don't even have that semblance of community or neighbors or friendly or anything like that. Where in Mexico, it's not like that at all. You know what I mean? Everyone knows you. You know what I mean? And if they don't know you, if you just moved into the neighborhood, they're gonna make it a thing to know you. And it's very community based, and everybody takes care of each other, and everybody helps each other out. And again, when we were going through the pandemic not too long ago, and at the very beginning when things were getting really scary and hairy, when everything was closed, things, we couldn't go to the store, you couldn't go anywhere. I'm talking about the very beginning. There was not really a worry in Mexico, because the neighborhood would just take care of itself. They would just start up like a WhatsApp group or something, or some like chat group, and basically just be like, hey, I need some eggs. Does anybody have eggs? Yeah, I got eggs. I need bread. Oh, okay, I got bread. Let's trade some bread for eggs. Things like that. Oh, I got some flour over here. Oh, I got sugar. Oh, I got this, and that's it. And everybody would just barter and interact and just help each other out with whatever it is. On top of that, let's say we were, like toilet paper or, some other issue like that, people were not even freaking out. The people in the neighborhoods out here, the normal Mexican people, they would look at a lot of news from other parts of the world where people were fighting over toilet paper and like literally killing each other over toilet paper. And in Mexico, they're like, well, we run out of toilet paper, we just hose each other down. You know, like that's it. It wasn't even a thing. I mean, that the solution was right in front of everyone's face. And the fact that other people around the world cannot see that there was a solution that has been there since the beginning of time, which is, just use some water to clean your, I mean, come on. So it's just things like that. The fact that, Mexico is also used to just making things happen, just living life, a hard life and rolling with the punches. So even when things get bad, which again, things are getting bad out there, things in Mexico are going to be fine because people are just used to survival. People are used to, making things happen, just creating a solution and not worrying or about what's going to happen or sitting there waiting for a government or some other authority figure to come and save the day or save their life or create a solution or bring a solution. No, they are already used to having a government that doesn't work, a government that doesn't do anything for them, or corporations or other things that just don't, are never there for any kind of, real need, real help or need. So most Mexicans are already used to, taking care of themselves and taking matters into their own hands and just going on ahead and, dealing with it and finding a solution themselves. Another reason why a lot of people want to move to Mexico is the fact that there is so much more access out here to, organic food and just better food with less chemicals and hormones and all that stuff. So, in the USA or other countries out there, but at least in the USA, if you want to get like organic food, any kind of, really clean, good food, it would cost you an arm and a leg. In most places, okay? Now, I do know that there are plenty of places around the USA and other places in Europe and Canada where you have access to, really good organic food for cheap. But most places do not. In fact, there's a lot of food deserts and stuff like that. There's no such thing as like a food desert in Mexico. You know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me? So, yeah, because the thing is that, like, if you're living in a small village or small community out here in Mexico, you're basically just going to be given, the fresh fruits, the fresh vegetables that are grown in the village or in the pueblo or in the city or in the area, the animals, the fresh eggs, the fresh everything. So the thing is that out here in Mexico, almost everything is pretty fresh, whether it comes anything from eggs to vegetables to fruits. And you have access to all this. It's readily available. In fact, you have to go out of your way to go and buy things like, the Coca-Colas, the potato chips, the Twinkies, and I can go on and on. And yes, of course they have all that out here, but you have more access to fresh fruit, vegetables, meat, eggs, everything, as opposed to the other stuff, because in the USA, in many places, you don't have any fresh anything, but you have tons of chips, tons of Coca-Cola, tons of Twinkies. Everything is readily available, except for actual real food. So that's a real huge reason why a lot of people are, moving out here. And to piggyback off of that, the medical thing, you know what I mean? Like, again, sure, you know what I mean? There might be, better medicine in other parts of the world, but in Mexico, you have access to all kinds of medicine, okay? Any kind of medicine that you can imagine, you can access out here. So again, if you want to go and find your solution through herbs and you want to go to one of those holistic doctors that's gonna give you an herbal solution or give you a natural a natural remedy. You have a lot of access to that here. You have a lot of access to, again, alternative medicine, natural remedies, treatments, and everything in between. Plus, you have access to the best, pharmaceuticals that you can think of as well. And best doctors as well. Some of the doctors in Mexico also practice in the USA. And they're very well versed and very well educated. So you have access to every spectrum, okay, from both sides of the spectrum, but everything available when it comes to medicine. And it's a lot more affordable here. And there's all kinds of medicine, anything you could imagine, anything they have available in Mexico. Like I said, like not just regular traditional medicine as we know it, but again, old traditional medicine, things that our ancestors used to practice, and things like that. All that is readily available, and a lot of doctors out here are very well versed on all that, and it's not like a weird thing. In fact, it is a normal thing out here. So the reality is that there's a lot of reasons why a lot of people are looking to move to Mexico. And, I hope I was able to make a pretty good video talking about this subject and, what does it bring into light as to why a lot of people are moving out here and want to move out here and want to live out here. One of the reasons that I kind of left out, I think I touched on a little bit in my ramblings today, was also some people are looking to start a family, because there are people out there that are coming from, the first world, and you know how difficult and how hard it is to not just date, but, even have that whole, conversation or whole idea of like, hey, I want to start a family. I want to have a traditional family. I want to have kids. I want to do that whole thing. Where, in some countries in the world, again, the USA, Canada, Europe, many parts of the world, that's a big no-no. They're trying to go in the opposite direction there. But in Mexico, everything about, again, family values and starting a family, and the whole, all of Mexico is very young, all these things that we've talked about multiple times on this channel, they're very real things. So a lot of people that are single women, single men, and young enough to want to do these things, they look at Mexico as a major, alternative, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to do it here, so let me just go over there and see if I can do it over there. In fact, a lot of people just get off the plane and, you can start a family pretty much really quickly if you really want to. So, that's like another option. I mean, another reason, as to why, a lot of people are looking to move out here. And, I think that's it. I think that about sums it all up. I know we talked about a lot of things out here today. I think, again, let's just go through the list real quick. But, again, a lot of people are looking for that wealth, that wealth in life, that richness in life, real quality of life. Okay. And they can find it out here. A lot of people are looking for freedom. A lot of people are looking for that simple way of life. A lot of people want to start a family. A lot of people are just looking for safety. Believe it or not, as crazy as it sounds, people are finding safety moving to Mexico. Again, they're escaping political strife. They're escaping a horrible situation that's deteriorating in their home country. They want to start brand new, a new beginning, something that they are not going to be able to do where they're from. And then, last but not least, again, just better access to healthcare and food and being able to really take care of yourself. How are you going to really, how you always hear, how are you going to be able to do XYZ if you haven't taken care of yourself? And out here, you can prioritize you number one. And yeah, you know what I mean? You're going to be able to have all the access to all the resources to do that. Out here, again, a lot of people that have known me for a very long time, you guys know, long time ago, I'm just better today. Okay, let's just leave it like that. Okay, let's just say that today, a lot of people that have known me for a long time, they're like, man, you are a lot more calm. You're a lot more, you look healthier. You look happier. You look just better. And that's because I am, and it's only just because I live my life out here. Sure, I got my problems and, my stress, just like everybody else. We all got to deal with our own situations, but my God, it is just so much easier to deal with life, to deal with things out here, okay, in a more calm, cool, collected environment, one in which everyone is here to help in one shape, form, or another, where things are just easier, even though they're difficult things that you got to deal with in life. These things are easier to deal with out here, and it's because of all these things that I've mentioned and then some. I'm sure there's plenty that I haven't mentioned that you guys should, help me down in the comments. So with that being said, if you like this kind of content, okay, and you want to help, in fact, you want to help with, adding things to this list, please leave it down below in the comments. If I missed anything, if there's something that you think that, I missed and that is a reason why you moved to Mexico, a reason why you live in Mexico, a reason why you love Mexico so much that I did not mention, please leave it down below in the comments. You know how I love and how we all love to read the comments and interact with each other and all that. And with that being said, I also want to say a big thank you to all the members, all the new members, all the new patrons, every single one of you that has bought me a beer, every single one of you that has, again, paid, a donation fee in order for me to do these questions that I answer every single Thursday. Every single one of you contributors, people buying t-shirts and mugs. I want to just give a big special extra shout out to all of you guys, all the contributors out there. I love you guys to death. Thank you so much. I've been getting a lot of love and support lately, and again, a lot of growth on the channel. So there's so many new subscribers, so many new viewers out there, and I just want to give a big shout out to all of you guys. All of you guys that have been with me since day 1, since day 32, since day 378, and till today. And right now, even though even some of you guys that have only been with me for a day or 2 days. So this might be the first video you watch. But anyways, shout out to all of you. And I want to give a big hug, a big thank you, and a big thanks, man. Seriously. All right? To all of you guys. You guys are the best. So with all that being said, you already know the deal. All right? If you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit that bell icon. But more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.